listening to Living Full Out with Nancy Solari. As a successful motivational speaker and trusted life coach, Nancy knows how you can live the life you want regardless of the challenges you face. Although she's legally blind, Nancy's mission is to inspire others to overcome obstacles and live life full out. Call in at 800-333-0001 to ask Nancy for advice on topics such as relationships, finances, business, health, and more. Just call 800-333-0001. Once again, that's 800-333-0001. And now, here's Nancy.
Hello, welcome to the Living Full Out Show. I am Nancy Solari, and today we're going to be talking about time. I hear so oftentimes people are like, I want to get time back. Or, gosh, there's so much time ahead of me for something I really want. Some people regret time. Some people wish it would go faster. What is our complex around time? How can we nurture our time? How can we get time back? That's what we're talking about today. And we're going to be taking your calls, of course. That number is 800-333-0001, 800-333-0001. Our inspirational guest today, her name is Jennifer Lee. She's going to be amazing. She talks about her journey with prescription drugs and talk about losing time. She lost 18 years to being on those drugs and trying to get off of them. So her story is one that you don't want to miss. Also, if you have questions about today's show, I want to make sure that you have a resource to email us at so we can help you with that and get you the support that you need. You can reach out to us at connect@livingfullout.com. Again, that's connect@livingfullout.com. And if you have an inspirational story, if you have a journey that you've been on that you think our audience, our community would enjoy hearing, we want to hear that story. We want to hear from you. Go to connect@livingfullout.com to share that story or reach out to us. And if you want to hear today's show again or all of our episodes, just go to livingfullout.com. You can go to the radio show tab or right there on our homepage and get access to all of our episodes. So again, if we're talking about time today, wherever you are in your life, let's say you have goals that you feel are taking forever to come true, or let's say that you have a time in your past that you regret, that you wish you could get something back, get that time back. Just know that you only have here and now. It's funny, I have clients who are stuck on the past. They're worried of the future. And we want to simplify life. To live full out, you really want to be in the moment. You want to just be here. That's a concept we talk about a lot at Living Full Out, really relishing in the moments of today. So when you leave this show today, I want you to package those fears about tomorrow and compartmentalize them. Put them somewhere, just put them aside. You know, we can't get rid of them, but don't let them have the power over you that they need to have. And also the worries or the regrets of the past. Again, the past is gone. We can remember and we can wish and we can think about it, but we can't get that back. So you just want to focus on today. I know for me, being legally blind, there's a lot of things that in the past I wish I had done earlier before I lost my vision. But there's also time for me in the future to experience those things. And I've had to learn that, being in the moment is not something that's a snap. It's a choice. It's something that you have to be aware of and be present with. And a lot of times people will turn to that, whether it be meditation or whether it be, getting coaching, or whether it be just hanging out with friends and having them be sounding boards for you. Either way, know that time is not something that has to restrict you. It is not something where you feel as though it has to have power over you. It's just a matter of recognizing, if I have today and if I'm considering tomorrow, what do I want to make the most of my life? What do I want to do? To live full out means that you look at all areas of your life. And so it's important that you focus on how to really maximize yourself in all aspects of those lives. And one of the things that we try to do at this show is we try to give you the opportunity to call in so that you can get the support that you need, so that time is not restricted. It's not a power over you, but you can really go with it. In fact, I'm getting word from our producer that we have a caller on the line now. We're going to go say hello to them. Hello, welcome to the Living Full Out Show. Hello, welcome to the show.
Hi, my name is Natalie, and I had a question for you.
Yeah, hi, Natalie. What's going on?
So I was just wondering, how do I even balance my time in college in order to reach my goal? I'm having issues with all the stuff I have going on, and I'm trying to balance it all out to make sure I reach my final goal.
I love it. Great question. A girl after my own heart, really. You know, the thing is I can sense that you are somebody who says yes to most things, right? You want to go here?
Yeah.
Yes. Do you want to do this? Yes. Do you want to be a part of this? Yes. And it's great to be a yes person. I embrace yes. However, sometimes you have to say not right now. Doesn't mean it's a no. Sometimes you just have to defer some things. And you really want to make sure that you put your life in a priority order. And the great thing is you have your entire life to nip away at this priority list. But rather than getting overwhelmed, feeling like time is powering over you, when you take that list and then you put time parameters around it, you schedule it out, you put benchmarks for when you want to achieve certain goals, that's how time no longer controls you, but now you are the captain of your ship. You're the one who's steering the ship. Do you get that? So if you were to consider one thing, just one thing that you are going to put as your priority for today, what would that be?
Getting some homework done.
Okay. And when is that homework due?
Tomorrow evening.
See, that's pretty timely, right? Tomorrow evening.
Mm-hmm.
What would be another priority item?
I'm currently pet sitting, so taking care of the dog, taking the dog for a walk.
Okay. Now look at that. Homework is due tomorrow, but that pet is in your care today. So can you walk the dog tomorrow and forget about him today?
Probably not, no.
Probably not, right? So again, that now goes above to the top of the list. It's walk the dog, care for the dog, feed the dog, all the things that you need to do as the responsibility of a pet sitter. That trumps homework. So do you see how you kind of look at the responsibility that you have into the task, into the goal, but you also want to look at when things are due. What are those deadlines? And then each week, every Sunday, every Saturday, every Monday, whatever your time is, you put together that list and you put the must-haves I must do at the top. Is that helpful?
Yeah, that sounds awesome.
Good. Well, put together that list. Don't forget the poor Poochie. He's number one. and then I definitely look forward to hearing how that goes. Thank you so much for calling in.
Awesome. Thank you for the advice.
You got it. Thank you. Here's Do You Live in Full Out? Thank you. I'm getting word from our producer that we actually have another caller on the line. Let's see what they're up to today. Hello. Welcome to the Living Full Out Show.
Hi.
Hi. Thank you for calling in. How can we help you today?
Hi. Well, I'm starting my senior year of college in the fall, and I've just been really worried about entering the real world in a year and just really not knowing where life is going to put me or how to handle it.
You know, I'm fearful of the real world too. I'm right there with you, right? Here's what I know. And I don't know what your age is. You're probably in your 20s. I'm in my 40s. But here's what I know. If we make something bigger, if we make it Mount Everest, it will be. If we give the fear of the future, and just so you know, fear stands for false evidence appearing real. It's not real. If we give that fear power, it will dominate us. But what if you are this unique, special person that a company is waiting for, but because you haven't graduated yet, because you haven't applied for a job there yet, that's why they don't know you. What if there is a future significant other down the road in your life, just searching for their soulmate? They haven't found you yet. You guys haven't connected yet. But what if? So rather than looking at the world in a scary way, like daunting and dominating and powerful and oh my gosh, what's going to happen? And I'm fearful. Take that power back and say, you know what? I'm just going to be right where I am today. I'm going to become the best version of myself I can be. I'm going to study hard. I'm going to do well in school. I'm going to try to be the most dynamic person within my career I can be. I'm going to try to be the most dynamic friend, partner I can be. Just giving yourself a little bit of time to just let yourself flourish. Does that make sense?
Yeah. I think I really need to hear that.
Yeah. And the great thing is, all you have to do is be you. How relieving is that? That's all you have to do is be you. That's the secret. That's the secret ingredient. So if you do that, you will be awesome. All right. But thank you so much for calling in. Don't let time wrap its arms around you. Don't let it, be an anchor in your life. Set yourself free. Okay.
All right. Thank you so much for that.
Thank you for calling in. So again, we'll be taking more of your calls later in the show. But coming up next, in our next segment, Jennifer Lee talking about her journey with getting over prescription drugs. It's one we all haven't walked, but yet the lessons she learned are ones we can all take to heart. We'll be right back after this break.
Dad, this is fun. I didn't think I'd like kayaking.
Well, I'm glad you enjoyed it, but I think it's time to head back in.
Okay. Can we come back?
Sure.
Tomorrow?
Let's check with Mom. Hey, be careful getting out of the boat.
It's a kayak, Dad.
I'm going to return the kayak. Just make sure you have everything.
Yep. Can we walk home?
How about a taxi? 233 North Maple, please.
It's a short fare from your neighborhood to your naturehood. Visit discovertheforest.org to find a neighborhood park or green space near you. Also, find fun activities to do like boating and biking or camping and hiking, plus much more. It's all right in your naturehood.
Best day ever.
A public service announcement brought to you by the Ad Council and the U.S. Forest Service.
Don't you wish that getting your child to eat right, move more, and spend less time in front of a screen could be as easy as pushing a button? It might not be that simple, but you do have more power than you know. And you can maximize that power with proven strategies, tips, and tools from the National Institutes of Health's We Can, or Ways to Enhance Children's Activity and Nutrition program. We Can offers all kinds of resources, including fun recipes and activities the family can do together to show you the way to live a healthier lifestyle. We're not saying it's easy. We are saying that it can be done. Take the first step today. Call 1-866-359-3226 for a free We Can Parents Handbook. And be sure to visit the We Can website at wecan.nhlbi.nih.gov for free information too. A message from the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services.
Today, my new dad and I shot off a rocket in the park.
Today, my new son and I failed to shoot off a rocket.
He knew exactly what to do.
It's not what I had no clue what I was doing.
We set up the rocket.
Hit ignition.
And
then nothing. Ha 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 ha. Sometimes I laugh when I'm frustrated.
Then out of nowhere, the rocket launched into the air.
The rocket did get into the air.
I've never seen anything fly so high.
And then crashed into a kite.
Look out! Look out!
And then the pond.
I'll never forget that day.
I'll never forget that day, even if I tried.
You don't have to be perfect to be a perfect parent. Thousands of kids in foster care will take you just as you are. For more information on how you can adopt, visit adoptuskids.org. A public service announcement from the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, Adopt U.S. Kids, and the Ad Council.
When I was little, I didn't talk for a long time. I liked things to always be the same. Anything new or different would scare and upset me. I was very sensitive to lights and sounds. It was almost like I had bigger eyes and ears than everyone else. So I built secret hiding places where nothing could get in. I didn't like looking people in the eye. It made me feel uncomfortable. I'd throw big tantrums over little things like when my socks didn't match. Sometimes I'd do the same things over and over. Until one day, I found out I had autism. My family got me help. Slowly, I learned how to live with it better.
You can see signs of autism in children as young as 18 months. Early intervention can make a lifetime of difference. Learn the signs at autismspeaks.org/signs. Brought brought to you by Autism Speaks and the Ad Council.
You're listening to Living Full Out with Nancy Solari. A professional motivational speaker, Nancy can help you overcome obstacles and start living full out. Call in with questions live at 800-333-0001. Once again, that's 800-333-0001. And now, here's Nancy.
Thank you for joining us today. I'm Nancy Solari, and this is the Living Full Out Show. Today we're talking about time, and time is just one of those things where it's a little bit eerie, actually, because we know we have time, but do we really? Because we never know when that life will be taken from us. We never know when a time parameter in terms of spending time with people or having a job or being in a relationship that may be indefinite, it may not. The thing is you have to really enjoy today, and you have to find a way to take time and not let it control you, not let it be the woulda, coulda, shouldas. Now, when I think of time and when I think about this show, the great thing is we have this hour to identify where in your life would you wish you had more time. And then we want to take action strategies to get you that time. Now, I realize that we're all going to be in different places in our life. We're going to be in times where we may have obligations and restrictions, and then from there, we wish we had more time, but we don't. And we're frustrated because we don't know how to get more time. And for those people, I want to tell you that you have the ability to get more time. It's just around telling people in your life, sometimes not right now. Sometimes it's scheduling, budgeting your time, just to make sure that you are able to live the life that you want to live. Now, the other thing I want to talk about is those who regret time, who are missing out on time. The thing is if you are feeling as though time has gone by and you have regrets, you wish you had done something differently, and you wonder, I can't get that time back. I get that. Being legally blind, there's a bazillion things. Okay, maybe not a bazillion. That's a lot. But there's a lot of things I wish I had done when I could still see. But can I sit down and wallow every day about the woulda, coulda, shouldas? No. Sometimes I have to take that dream I had, whatever I did not do, and I have to morph it into something I can still do today. Maybe I won't see Australia like I would have seen it 10 years ago. Maybe I can still taste the food, experience the culture in other ways using my other senses. You have to think about how can you release the past so it doesn't have those burdens over you? And some people might think about the past in the way in which they've lost time. Maybe they, had a falling out with somebody, and maybe you lost time in talking to them, being connected to them. Maybe you found yourself, with prescription drugs or alcohol or abusing something where, again, you lost time and you can't get that time back. Rather than beating yourself up, going to that woulda, coulda, shoulda conversation, I want you to stand up and I want you to acknowledge the time that was lost, but know that it's not gone forever, knowing that the things that you want to still achieve, you can. You just have to take a stance in your life, take control, and say, I'm not going to let the past haunt me. I'm not going to feel bad for it. I'm going to move forward and let myself be arms wide open to what's possible in the future. You're going to put your arms wide open to time that's coming ahead of you. Now, our inspirational guest today, Jennifer Lee, also had to embrace time in that way. She had to heal from the time that was lost when she was on prescription drugs. And so I'd like to welcome Jennifer Lee to the show so we can hear more about her inspirational journey. Hello, Jennifer.
Hi, Nancy. How are you?
I'm wonderful. Thank you for joining us today. And,
thank you for inviting me.
It's funny, everyone. I could talk to Jennifer for hours. I don't have hours, though, unfortunately. She's just kind of one of those kind of gals. So we're going to have to jump right into it. But can you share with us, before we talk about how you got started on the prescription drug, can you share with us which drug was prescribed to you and what it was for, just so we can kind of get down the technical name?
Sure. The class of drug is called benzodiazepine, and it's a drug like Valium, Xanax, Ativan or Klonopin. Those are the most prescribed benzodiazepines in the United States, and I was put on it because I used to have anxiety and panic attacks.
So your doctor prescribed it to you, and you just did what you were told. Did you worry about these drugs? Did you ask any questions?
No, I was told that benzodiazepines are safe to take. My doctor said that I would need to be on them for the rest of my life, and he never told me that you can become chemically dependent on them and that the withdrawal from them could be life-threatening and it could take years to heal from the chemical brain damage that the drugs cause.
If you only knew, right? If you'd only known, 20-odd years ago what was coming. Now, you were prescribed originally to take 3 doses a day. Is that right?
Yes.
Okay. And so you took those for about 9 years, feeling good, everything was fine. It did what it needed to do, right? What happened 9 years later? Why were you choosing to take less of that drug?
When you go on the drug, they eventually stop working. There's something that is called tolerance withdrawal. So you begin to have withdrawal symptoms even though you're on your prescribed dose. And this happens to people who never, ever abuse the drug. They just take the drug as directed. So over those first 9 years of being on the drug, I was slowly having some health issues that no one recognized as being tolerance withdrawal to the drug. And then I moved, and I was in a place where I felt like I didn't need the drug anymore, and I tried to come off the drug, and all hell broke loose because I went into full-blown withdrawal from it.
Now, I'm just curious, what were some of those signs that you, family members, maybe even people listening today might be missing?
Signs that they've become tolerant to the drug?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Those insomnia, increased anxiety, panic attacks, joint pain, bone pain, muscle pain, twitching, just agitation, memory loss, weight gain or weight loss, not feeling well, bladder problems, stomach problems. It affects every major system in our body.
So here you were just wanting to wean off of it because it wasn't quite doing its job any longer. And then all of a sudden, when you tried to go off it, what were some of the symptoms that you had?
Oh my goodness, Nancy, I went into full-blown withdrawal symptoms, hallucinations, depersonalization, derealization, being unable to sleep, severe pain, dizziness, weakness.
That sounds
like a freight train.
That sounds like such a scary ride. Now, we're going to come back after this commercial break, Jennifer, so stay with us, and we're going to hear more about her journey trying to get off these drugs, but yet dependent on them at the time. So, Jennifer, stay with us. Everybody will be coming right back after this break.
Listening to Living Full Out with Nancy Solari.
There are many sounds in your day-to-day life. There are sounds that wake you up. Sounds that make you smile. Sounds that energize you. And sounds that help you relax. But there are some sounds that can alert you to danger and can help save lives. Wireless emergency alerts, now on many mobile devices, use a unique sound and vibration to bring you information about severe weather events, Amber Alerts, or other emergencies in your area. With critical information from local sources you know and trust, you can be in the know. wherever you are. For more information, visit ready.gov/alerts. Brought to you by FEMA and the Ad Council.
Keyboard Cat, Hamilton the Pug, and Toast Meets World. These are some of the internet's most beloved pets. With millions of YouTube views, shares, Instagram likes, followers, and fans across the globe. But what do all these amazing pets have in common? Their stories started in a shelter. Start your story. Adopt a dog or cat today. Visit theshelterpetproject.org to find a shelter or adoptable pets near you. Training that pet to play the keyboard? Well, that's entirely up to you. Visit theshelterpetproject.org and hear more about Hamilton the Pug, Toast, and Keyboard Cat's amazing adoption stories. Start a story. Adopt a shelter or rescue pet today. Your perfect pet is just a click away at theshelterpetproject.org. A public service announcement brought to you by Maddie's Fund, the Humane Society of the United States, and the Ad Council.
As an 18-year-old, I let my mistakes kind of take over my life. I was 0.5 credits away from completing high school, and I didn't do it.
10 years later, at age 28, Jackie finished her high school diploma.
When I found out that I was pregnant, I know that I had to do something for myself if I wanted to make her a better person and provide a better life for her. My family never stopped pushing for me to be better because they knew what I could become and who I could become as a person. My support team is amazing. The educational director, my sister, and even my 7-year-old daughter has just been more than the support that I could ask for. I've been given an opportunity, and I'm just thankful for it.
No one gets a diploma alone. If you're thinking of finishing your high school diploma, you have help. Find free adult education classes near you at finishyourdiploma.org. That's finishyourdiploma.org. Brought to you by the Dollar General Literacy Foundation and the Ad Council.
What if I could tell you that a full-blown wildfire was going to occur tomorrow right where you live? Tell you exactly which neighborhoods it would engulf and how fast it would do it. The first thing you would do is talk with your loved ones and make a plan today. It's true, I can't tell you a wildfire will strike tomorrow, but shouldn't you make a plan anyway? Go to ready.gov/communicate and make your emergency plan today. Don't wait. Communicate. Brought to you by FEMA and the Ad Council.
Driving has a rhythm all its own. Don't wreck it with a text. Before you get behind the wheel, silence your phone. Or better yet, designate a texter. For more text-free driving tips, visit stoptextstoprex.org. Brought to you by the Ad Council and the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration.
You're listening to Living Full Out with Nancy Solari. As a trusted life coach, Nancy will help you overcome setbacks and embrace all life has to offer. Call in with questions live at 800-333-0001. Once again, that's 800-333-0001. And now, here's Nancy.
Hello, welcome back to the Living Full Out Show. I'm Nancy Solari, and today we're talking about time. How do we get back time? How do we not let time control us? But sometimes I'm saying to myself, I have nothing but time. How do we have a better relationship with time? Well, our inspirational guest today, she had to develop a better relationship with time because she was dealing with being prescribed prescription drugs that she was recommended to take for anxiety. But then over time, she became dependent on them. And even in her attempts to get off of the drugs, hallucinations, feeling just terrible, and on and on and on. So I'd like to welcome Jennifer back to the show. Hi, Jennifer.
Hey, Nancy.
Hi. So you were just sharing with us before we went to break that when you went off of them, this was after 9 years of taking this drug, that you started to have all these hallucinations and all these really bad feelings. What did you do during that time? Did you go to the hospital? And did you have any support from friends or family?
I called my doctor, and he just said to take the drug again. He didn't inform me that all of the symptoms were benzo withdrawal. So I stayed on a lower dose for another I don't know, 9 years or so, until I was just so sick and tolerance withdrawal. But I knew then I had researched, and then there was more information on the internet. And even though the doctors here in the United States don't seem to be educated about these drugs, I found out from other people who were having problems coming off, and from the leading world expert, Dr. Heather Ashton. And that was when I started again to get off, and I tapered off the drug.
Now, it's interesting. How did you not feel resentful or angry at that doctor for putting you on this drug?
Oh, in the beginning, I was so angry. It's mind-boggling that doctors here in the United States and all over, actually, are so uneducated about the drug. I was really angry that I had lost so much of my life being sick on the drug, and then spending many, many months tapering, eventually having to just cold turkey off the drug, and then it took years to heal, and I was unable to work. I lost so much time, Nancy. It was hard not to be angry.
And so what did you do in terms of self-care to not be angry? Because I hear you. I hear you, sister. I'm angry for you, because if he could have just told you the effects or given you a different drug, but how did you find peace with that?
I tore out my front yard and planted flowers. My front yard flower garden became the place where I healed, because I was unable to work anymore. I was a coach as well, and I was unable to do coaching at that time. So I just got into my flower garden every day. And then I also really worked the 12 steps of the recovery program, like AA or NA. Those steps really helped me understand to just live in the moment and to not be tied to the past. And I really, truly then developed a relationship with God as I understand God. And that helped me get out of my own head about judgment. I was able to forgive. And I really learned that a life of service to other people, much like what you're doing, Nancy, with your life, serving other people, is a great way to forgive, let go, and have peace and serenity.
I love that you said that. And I feel that through you. Like that life lesson, I feel that you really got that. As terrifying as the experience was to learn that lesson, you got it. Now, in your story, though, which is interesting, is while you were weaning off these drugs, you actually then turned to alcohol as another way to self-medicate. And that was in that time that friends and family started to notice.
Right, yes. I began experiencing something called tolerance withdrawal or called interdose withdrawal. So around 5 o'clock, I would get this really bad chemical feeling in my body. It's hard to describe. But a glass of wine would take that away, because alcohol works on the same GABA receptors that benzodiazepines work on. So over time, I started drinking every single day, because that was the only way that I felt somewhat normal towards the end of the afternoon. And that my drinking really was the big aha that I was really in trouble on the benzodiazepine, even though I was taking it as prescribed. Most people, Nancy, don't abuse these drugs. It's not like opiates. They take these drugs as prescribed, but they still get very damaged and have withdrawal symptoms. So yeah, the alcohol was the big wake-up call for me.
Well, and after that second 9-year run with even the lower dose, it took you 6 years to finally cleanse it out of your body. In that 6 years, how did you do that? Because for someone listening today who knows someone who might be on a prescription pill, maybe it's a anxiety medication, maybe it's a sleeping pill, who knows? What is the words of wisdom or advice of how someone can really get off of it in a safe way?
Research on the internet, find support groups, talk to other people who've gone through it. I know that doctors, we put them up on pedestal and think they know everything, but many of them are very uneducated about withdrawal from psych meds in particular. So find other people who've gone through it, educate yourself as much as possible, taper slowly off the drug, listen to your body, eat really healthy, good nutrition, lots of patience, really build up your spiritual muscle, whatever you believe is greater than your self-source universe, God, higher power, whatever you call it, really rely on a relationship there, and just tell yourself you can do it, and then you just do it. You wake up. It's just one day at a time.
And that is the key word today, time, right? And, I want to kind of close up today a little bit because we're just at the end of the interview here. But knowing that, you got on this drug prescribed by your doctor, knowing that you lost, 18 plus years trying to get off of it. We talked about the anger and the resentment of all that from the past. But what is your relationship now with time in the future?
Oh, I have a wonderful relationship with time. I live right here in this moment. I don't look back. I don't look back on any part of my life with regret anymore because I can't do anything about it. And I don't really look too much ahead in the future, Nancy, because that's where all our fears and anxieties are. I've really learned to give thanks for this breath, this heartbeat, to stay right here. And I give thanks for everything, even the things that, quote unquote, look bad. I have just learned to just live life on life's terms, be very grateful. I'm so excited that I'm still here, still alive, can still experience everything. So I'm most likely, on any given moment of the day, I'm at peace, and it's really spectacular.
Well, and we're glad that you're here, too. And, that could have gone a different way. That's the thing. All those torturous times of you getting off of it. Another last question I have for you is, for our audience listening today, if somebody is on such a prescription medication and maybe they feel as though they don't want to go through the same torture you did getting off of it, what do you say to those people who just don't want to feel that same pain? Do they stay on it? Do they not stay on it? How do they cope?
Well, no one is supposed to be on these benzodiazepine for more than 2 to 4 weeks. That even is stated in the manufacturer's handout. Everybody really should come off these drugs. And about half the people who take them won't have problems getting off. It's about half of us that have a different type of DNA, genetic makeup in our body that we have bad withdrawals. So I just encourage everyone, come off these drugs. They are damaging long term. And it really is sad that so many people are put on these drugs. One of the reasons I do the coaching that I do today and have my website, benzowithdrawalhelp.com, so that people can get educated and find out how to get off these drugs safely.
Well, and you taught me something. You taught me the difference between being dependent and being addicted. Can you share with us that thought for you that you have on that?
Yes, and thank you so much for bringing that up, Nancy. Most people who take a benzodiazepine are not true, quote-unquote, addicts. They don't crave the drug. They're not drug-seeking. They take their medication as prescribed by their doctor, but still they have become dependent. Their brain has to have it. Otherwise, they will have horrific withdrawals. So even if you don't have an addictive personality, you can still become very, very dependent on a benzodiazepine. They're very dangerous drugs.
Absolutely. Well, you did it. You got off of it. And for you, for that, you're almost such a courageous person to have fought through the fire to get off of it. It would have been so easy for you to just stay on, a little bit of dose here, a little bit of dose there. But you said, no, I'm reclaiming my life. I'm getting it back. So kudos to you. And honestly, you are such a great example of what it means to live full out.
Oh, thank you. Thank you so much.
Yeah, and I want to thank you very much.
Thank you for today.
Absolutely. Well, you keep spreading the word because it just takes one voice. And for everybody listening today, you can be a Jennifer. You can stand up and you can research and you can ask questions and then you can share with others. It's just about paying it forward. So thank you very much, Jennifer, for being on the show today. And I will be wishing you all the best.
Thank you for having me, Nancy. Take care.
You too. Thank you. So again, she brought up such a great thing. Again, it's all about being in the moment, the time we have right now, this show, this segment. Coming up next, we're going to be taking your calls. It's very important that you leave this show today just really centered on today, this moment, this hour, and recognizing what do you want to do today? What do you want to do with your life? Making it purposeful, allowing yourself to live full out in a big way. Jennifer chose to not be on those pills anymore, fought through that fire, but today she's living proof that you can do it. So for anybody who may be struggling with prescription addiction or dependency, maybe you're in a relationship that is toxic, maybe you're just numb from feeling like you're lost in the world and you don't have any sense of direction. The time is now to put your foot down and get back to living full out, because time is waiting for you. You got nothing but time. You just have to reach out there and go for it. So again, we'll be right back after this break. This is the Living Full Out Show. I'm Nancy Solari. We'll be back.
Jason, I've got to tell you, you're pretty much everything this company is looking for in an entry-level candidate.
Great.
Your resume isn't quite what we're used to, but you've got a fantastic work ethic.
Thank you.
And I'm impressed by how you carry yourself.
So, should we talk about the job?
What? The job? Oh, sorry. Yeah, I have no way of recruiting or even meeting you. This interview didn't happen.
It may sound ridiculous, and that's because it kind of is. There's a huge pool of talent your company is missing out on. Meet the grads of life. Who are they? Talent worth knowing about. Young adults of unique determination and experience. An ideal fit for your company in an entry-level position, internship, or even mentorship. They might not have every qualification you typically look for, but they're exactly who your company needs.
Man, we really could have used him.
Don't miss out on a resource many innovative companies have already discovered. Go to gradsoflife.org to learn how to find, cultivate, and train this great pool of untapped talent. Brought to you by the Ad Council and gradsoflife.org.
The following message is about Medicaid and CHIP, free or low-cost health coverage for kids and teens. Enrollment is open year-round.
Hey, voice lady, give me the mic.
Okay.
Hey, DJ, let's switch up the music. That's better. So listen up, moms and dads out there. There are these programs called Medicaid and CHIP. They offer free or low-cost health coverage for kids. Things like doctor and dentist visits, prescriptions, and shots are covered. All the stuff that keeps kids like me healthy and in charge.
So, as you can tell, a covered kid is a confident kid. And it means confident parents, too. To learn more about affordable health coverage for your family, visit healthcare.gov or call 1-877-KIDS-NOW. That's 1-877-543-7669.
Yep, you could do something big for your family today because enrollment is open year-round.
This has been a message from the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services.
And Sophia.
They're going to jump out of trees. You can't stop them. They'll go down the slide head first. They'll make parachutes out of sheets. They'll balance on things that are impossible to balance on, like the back of a couch or a windowsill or a scooter seat. They'll run with sharp objects. They'll run into walls. They'll climb things that won't hold their weight. They'll put their fingers in places where they could get smashed. They'll drive their tricycles down steep hills. They'll bounce balls off their faces. They'll step on each other. They'll jump on each other. They'll invent whole new ways to put themselves in jeopardy. But one of the most dangerous things kids will do happens while they're sitting perfectly still. Kids who ride in a car without a booster seat are much more likely to suffer serious or fatal injury during a crash than kids in boosters. But amazingly, 80% of all kids who need them aren't in them. After a toddler seat and until they're 4'9", booster kids, and don't let them down.
Go to boosterseat.gov to learn more about the importance of boosters. A message from the U.S. Department of Transportation and the Ad Council.
Hey, Nick Cannon here. So we all know we've got a lot of talent in America. But unfortunately, there's something else we've got way too much of. Childhood hunger. 17 million kids struggle with it in this country. That's why the Feeding America nationwide network of food banks gather surplus food to give hope to hungry kids and their families. Join me in supporting Feeding America and your local food bank at feedingamerica.org.
A message from Feeding America and the Ad Council.
We are your pets, and this song's dedicated to those people who don't have health insurance yet. Enroll, we say, we want you to be okay. Enroll, we say,
insurance is now affordable and covers prescriptions, hospitalizations, and preventive care. Visit getcoveredamerica.org to learn more.
And take care, people.
Brought to you by Get Covered America and the Ad Council.
When you're living full out, you want to take time and you want to say, listen, I'm going to make the most of it. I'm going to do today what I've always wanted to do. You never know if tomorrow's going to be tomorrow. You can't get back the past, but what you do have is today. Go live out today in a big way. Let time unfold as you live your life full out.
You're listening to Living Full Out with Nancy Solari. As a certified life coach, Nancy can help you to overcome challenges and start living full out. Call in with questions live at 800-333-0001. Once again, that's 800-333-0001. And now, here's Nancy.
Okay, final segment of the show here. I want to thank, first of all, everybody who has called in today and to our inspirational guest, Jennifer Lee. The thing is, when we talk about time, it's such a big concept. It's one of those things where you almost can't wrap your arms around it unless you're thinking about the past, the future, or this minute. But the biggest thing about living full out is that you're not bounded by time. It's all about taking this journey of life that we were all given. It's a blessing, really, and relishing in every minute of every day. And sometimes those are going to come with heartbreak, and there's going to be struggles and challenges. But I tell those challenges, bring it, because you haven't met Nancy yet. You want those challenges because it's in those moments that you find out what you're made of, that you find out how you can survive, how you can thrive. So welcome the challenges in addition to the positive memories. Now I'm getting word from our producer that we do have a caller on the line. We're going to go say hello to them. Hello, welcome to the Living Full Out show.
Hi, Nancy. So my problem is that I struggle with depression and anxiety, and I was beaten up by my mom for about 8 years. And I never really realized that she was the reason for my depression and my anxiety. And when I started going into therapy, I found that out through talking to my therapist, and I started hating her. And now I can't even really look at her without crying or without screaming. And even though she's changed, I don't exactly know how to overcome it, because she didn't just beat me up for reasons that I did things wrong. It was kind of for everything. So it was the first time I fell off my bike when trying to ride it, or it was if I, didn't do the dishes, or even if I did do them. So my question to you is, how am I supposed to rekindle my relationship with her if every time I look at her, I realize that she's the reason for my depression?
Really good question. And first of all, I am so sorry you went through that pain, and I can hear it still in your voice. It's with you. It's real every day. And there's that child, that little girl that never quite had her childhood. She's still scared today. And we all have that inner child. And I want you to know that, I grew up with a father who had anger issues. And I remember walking down one time and glass all over the floor, you name it. So that's a really scary time for any child, especially when you're the one being abused. Now, what I'm about to say doesn't get your mom off the hook, but it just is what is. And when parents have a child, there's no manual. And in life, we're not given a manual. And we don't know, maybe you have further insight that we can talk about here today, and you're welcome to call me, okay, outside of this show. But the thing is we don't know how your mom was raised. Somebody taught her that. Somebody taught her that was the way to deal with frustration, with anger, and it might not even been anger at you. Maybe, sometimes parents are even jealous of their children, and that becomes anger because they had a life that they didn't have. Who knows? Okay. But your mom was not given a life manual when she was born, and she was also not given a manual when she had you. And so there it goes, right? On and on and on. You can't control your mom's actions now, in the past, or in the future. The only thing you can do is live your life. And part of that, my dream for you, my hope for you, is that you will find some sort of a peace with your mom. It doesn't have to be forgiving her, but finding some way to acknowledge that she did give you life. Because without you, I wouldn't be having this conversation with you. Your friends, all the people that adore you and love you, they wouldn't have you. So I'm at least going to thank her for giving birth to you, right?
Okay.
And so you want to find the little things that you can thank your mom for. Just the very little ones. It may just be enough that you can count on one hand. And that is the only way in which you're going to replenish that relationship. It's just being grateful for what she did right, if anything. We know she gave birth to you, and that was right, so we can at least praise her for that. And maybe she did one or two other things. And that's as far as you can really go with that, nurturing that relationship. From there going forward, now you have that in a safe place where you still have a relationship, but you're loving her for what you feel okay to love her for. You're not getting her off the hook, right? And then from there, you go on to be the best version of yourself you can be. You go on to watch out for other people who may be abused, and you help protect them. You guide them. You be that support for them. You go on to be a great mom who's going to be probably the opposite of the way that you were raised, right? You go on to thrive, because it is these experiences, the abuse, when people have affairs on us, when people steal from us, whenever we make a mistake or we fail, or you name it, it actually builds us inside to be a better person. Do you see that?
Okay. Yes, I do.
So just have a relationship with your mom in whatever way you can have a positive connection where you can be thankful for those little things. And then that might just be it. And that's okay. Because I bet you have other mother figures in the world. Other, maybe friend moms and things like that. They can all be mothers to you, right? Just because our biological mother is our biological mother doesn't mean that's our only mother. We have other mothers. Okay? Yeah. But thank you so much for calling in, and I'll be thinking about you today and going onward. Okay? Thank you.
All right. Thank you so much, Nancy.
You're welcome. You're welcome. And I want to thank everybody who listened today. We're here for you. We're giving you that time back. It's not too late. Embrace the future. I want to thank the entire Living Full Out team. We have Rich and Elizabeth and Riley and everybody who puts this show on. Most of all, here's to you living your life full out. See you next week.